Alright, this is the Heathkit GR-78. It's a shortwave receiver from about the 1969 era, 69 through about 75 when they stopped making it. This particular one I got as I said, I got from a flea market, and for nothing, about 20 bucks. It did have a few issues. The band spread cap, which is right there, it was frozen, so when you went in here to try to turn the knob for the band spread, it would not move at all. It turned out to be that shaft right there, which trying to get in there so you can see where that is. That shaft right there was completely frozen. Just sitting for 40 years. I guess this thing was sitting for 40 years or something, I don't know, or 50 or 30 or whatever. It was just frozen solid. So I went in there and I got some lithium grease. If on the other side of this, if you loosen the nut, this whole thing will slide out. The whole shaft slides out to the other side, and you just put a little lithium grease on there, and it's good to go again. So that part I had to do, and then down here at the main tuning, let's see if I'll adjust the camera so that I can get down there. Or I'll adjust the unit just as easily, I guess. The main tuning, which is this guy right here, was also just frozen solid as a rock. So what I ended up doing is pulling that out, pulling the knob off, pulling this shaft out, and putting a good bit of lithium grease down in there, and then that freed that up. So it seemed like a basket case to the guy who was selling it. Probably he didn't think it was worth anything, maybe. And I'm not sure it is yet, but but at least it's got spinning knobs, and it does work. It does receive. The sensitivity is pretty decent. When I first started playing with it, the sensitivity was a little low, and I found that the band switch needed some cleaning. The band switch is in here. It's underneath this cover, and a little bit of a CRC takes care of that, and you run that back and forth a few times, and my sensitivity popped right up. So something was not quite making contact in there. It was making the receiver sound really dull. Basically, could barely put out. You could barely hear the signals, and that was just because of some kind of corrosion on the band switch there. So pretty easy to get back into shape in this case. The one funky thing about the GR-78 is the power supply. And if you look at the power supply section, you'll see that it has a transformer right here, and then on the back it has a connection for 12 volts DC, and this makes one think that, well, okay, and also 110 volts AC. So this makes one think that's the power supply to power the unit, but it's not. It turns out all it does is charge a NiCad battery pack that at one point was attached to this wall here, this chassis wall, and does not really power the rig by itself. You have to charge the battery through either the AC mains through this transformer and associated charging circuitry, or the 12 volts that goes through the charging circuitry into the battery and then run from the battery. That's the only way it works. So plugging the 12 volts in at first led to nothing, and I thought, oh, I have a dead unit. But reading up a little bit on it, found out what the situation really was, and so I bypassed these wires right here. Are just bypassing the charging circuit and going directly into B+ where it needs to go, and they go back to a 9.6 volt power supply I have, regulated power supply. That's running it today. So I'm going to get some nickel metal hydrides, which are exactly the same voltage as the NiCads, and replace what was here, the old battery pack, with the NiCads. With the nickel metal hydrides at 9.6 volts, and we should be good to go again. So there's your tour of the GR-78.